When we talk about superhero video games today, we often discuss them in terms of before and after. Before 2009, the consensus was that licensed superhero games were, at best, mediocre cash grabs. Then came Rocksteady Studios, and with it, Batman: Arkham Asylum. It didn't just set a new bar for the action-adventure genre. It fundamentally changed how we perceive the Dark Knight in an interactive space. It proved that a game could be both a high-octane brawler and a genuine atmospheric masterclass in noir storytelling. Today, we're looking back at the Batman: Arkham series, a quadrilogy that redefined gaming history, perfected the combat loop, and gave us the definitive Batman experience. In 2009, the gaming world was shocked. Arkham Asylum took a character with years of baggage and distilled him down to his essence: the detective, the predator, and the brawler. What made Asylum revolutionary was its setting. By confining Batman to the asylum, Rocksteady turned the environment into a secondary antagonist. It was a Metroidvania-style masterpiece where every upgrade, the Batclaw, the explosive gel, the cryptographic sequencer, felt earned. But the real magical parts of the game were the free-flow combat and predator sections. Before this, combat in action games was often clunky. Rocksteady introduced a rhythmic, momentum-based combat system that made the player feel like Batman. It wasn't just about button mashing. It was about flow, timing, and precision. It turned every encounter into a violent, elegant dance. When combined with the Predator segments, where you systematically picked off thugs from the shadows, the game masterfully balanced the two sides of Batman's identity. If Asylum was the proof of concept, Arkham City in 2011 was the expansion of ambition. Taking the series into an open-world environment could have diluted the focus, but Rocksteady doubled down on world-building. Arkham City is perhaps the most beloved entry for a reason. It introduced us to Hugo Strange, the puppet master of a sprawling prison sector in the heart of Gotham. The map was dense, vertical, and packed with environmental storytelling. The narrative stakes were elevated, moving from a personal struggle against the Joker to a high-stakes conspiracy involving the entire Rogues Gallery. And we have to talk about the writing. Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, the gold standard of Batman and Joker, delivered performances that rivaled any film or animation. Arkham City ended on a note that few games have the guts to pull off: the death of the Joker. It felt permanent, weighty, and earned, cementing the series as a serious narrative contender in the industry. While not developed by Rocksteady, WB Games Montreal's Arkham Origins in 2013 occupies a unique place in the series. It faced a difficult task: follow up the perfection of City while telling a story about a younger, angrier Bruce Wayne. Origins is often overlooked, but it deserves credit for its boss battles, specifically the showdown with Deathstroke, which remains one of the best combat encounters in the entire series. It deepened the lore, exploring the first meeting between Batman and the Joker, and leaned heavily into the detective side of the character. It offered a colder, more holiday-themed Gotham that felt distinct, even if it utilized the same structural DNA as its predecessor. The conclusion of the main storyline, Arkham Knight in 2015, remains one of the most visually stunning games ever made. It pushed the hardware to its absolute limit. Gotham City wasn't just a map anymore. It was a living, breathing character, teeming with crime and light. The introduction of the Batmobile as a drivable vehicle was the game's most divisive element. While some felt the tank combat sections were overused, the sheer scale of integrating a high-speed vehicle into the traversal system was a feat of engineering. Another thing that was introduced in Arkham City was way more improvements to the combat, allowing Batman to defeat criminals on the streets of Gotham in more ways than all the games before it. And the Predator segments? Absolutely amazing, as Bruce got a new batsuit that gave him access to one of the game's new mechanics, the multi-fear takedown, allowing him to take down up to 6 enemies once upgraded. Narratively, Arkham Knight was the perfect synthesis of Bruce Wayne's internal and external struggles. Dealing with the psychological fallout of the Joker's infection in City, Bruce's isolation from his allies, and the emergence of a new, high-tech threat, the story explored what happens when the Batman has nothing left to lose. The Nightfall Protocol conclusion provided a bittersweet, definitive end that respected the character's burden. Why does the Arkham series still matter today? Because it set the standard for how to treat intellectual property. It didn't just adapt the source material, it understood it. It took the comic book aesthetics, the gritty shadows, the neon grime, the colorful villains, and made them grounded and tangible. The combat system, in particular, spawned an entire subgenre of action games. If you've played Marvel's Spider-Man by Insomniac Games, you've seen the DNA of Arkham in the flow of the combat. Beyond gameplay, the series redefined the portrayal of villains. The Joker, Penguin, Two-Face, and Scarecrow weren't just hurdles to overcome. They were complex, terrifying, and deeply integrated into the world. The series didn't treat them as boss fights to be checked off a list. It treated them as integral parts of Batman's psychological undoing. The Batman Arkham series represents a rare achievement in gaming, a long-running franchise that maintained a high level of quality while genuinely evolving with every installment. It gave us the tools to be the Batman, but more importantly, it gave us the story of the man beneath the cowl. Whether you're a longtime fan who spent hours scouring the map for Riddler trophies, or a newcomer curious about the series that changed it all, the Arkham games remain essential playing. They are a monument to the Dark Knight, and perhaps the finest superhero trilogy, and then some, ever compiled. Thanks for watching. If you have a favorite memory from the streets of Gotham, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into gaming history.